Here's a harsh truth for you. Right now, 90% of the houses in Shenzhen are no longer good investments. Buying a house to live in is fine, but don't count on it to keep or increase its value. It's extremely hard to sell second-hand houses now. If you don't give a discount, there won't be even anyone looking at it. For example, in 2021, the average house price in Shenzhen dropped by 30%. Even worse, those who bought houses in 2021 have seen their down payments completely disappear. Something scarier than the drop in house prices has already happened in Shenzhen. It's not just about whether house prices will drop, but whether anyone will buy even if they do. Despite continuous price drops and lower mortgage rates, houses still aren't selling. For example, the apartment complex behind me used to be over 40,000 RMB per square meter, but now it's just over 20,000 RMB. It even comes with a fine renovation and has a subway station and commercial center nearby. You could buy a 69 square meter 2-bedroom apartment or a larger 89 or 97 square meter 3-bedroom apartment for just 30,000 to 50,000 RMB down, with monthly payments around 5,000 to 6,000 RMB.
It feels like overnight, the Shenzhen real estate market has completely changed. It seems like everyone in Shenzhen is trying to sell their houses, even at a loss on their down payments. Especially in large communities like Anju in Bao'an and City in Longhua, over 30 new listings can appear in a single day. There are now over 100,000 second-hand houses for sale in Shenzhen, not counting those being auctioned off by the courts. That means that roughly 1 out of every 10 homeowners is trying to sell. So I have to ask, in this environment, where are all the buyers coming from? It used to be that owning many houses meant you were wealthy. Now, owning many houses makes you the big loser, especially for those who bought Yueyue Bay Garden. At its peak, prices there were nearly 100,000 RMB per square meter. Now it's down to 40,000 RMB. Losing 4 to 5 million RMB on a house has become common. House prices in Shenzhen continue to fall. Many houses are not only cheap, but also conveniently located and beautifully renovated, yet still no one is buying them. Chinese media reports that in Shenzhen's Futian district, homes in school districts have plummeted from a peak of 140 RMB per square meter to about 40,000 RMB, a drop of over 70%. Futian and Luohu are home to many of Shenzhen's prestigious schools, with Futian having the highest number of school district home sales in 2023. However, data from the Youjia Research Center shows that by the end of 2023, the prices of key school district homes in Shenzhen have dropped to more than 20% from their peak in 2021. Returning to 2019 and 2020 levels. School district homes refer to properties near schools, from universities to key high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, as designated by the government each year based on student enrollment. Within the industry, it specifically refers to houses near key schools, as only these schools can significantly increase surrounding property values, forming what's known as a school district house. Reports indicate that Shenzhen's school district housing market began cooling down at the end of 2021. In March 2021, multiple 29 square meter units in Bagualing Dormitory in Futian District were sold for over 143,000 RMB per square meter, with total prices around 4.2 million RMB and a sales cycle of 8 to 14 days. Since 2024, the average transaction price in this community has ranged from 40,400 to 56,900 RMB per square meter. Recently, a 28 square meter unit sold for only 1.1 million RMB, a drop of over 70% from the highest price point. In March, a 29 square meter unit sold for 1.7 million RMB, which is 2.5 million RMB less than the high in 2021. Bagualing Dormitory, built in 1983, primarily consists of small units around 30 square meters, initially serving as employee dormitories. These are typical old, small, and worn school district houses. The prices soared due to expectations of urban renewal and the establishment of prestigious primary school and experimental middle school. The founder of Shenzhen House Hunting Frontline, Xie Linfeng, said that the main reason for the decline in school district house prices is the market downturn. The larger the previous increase, the greater the drop, as exemplified by the Bagualing Dormitory. At its peak, driven by the benefits of Liyuan East Campus, its small size, and low total price, pushed the average transaction price to over 140,000 RMB per square meter. Now, facing a market downturn, sellers are lowering prices to increase sales. In the same Bagualing area, Shufei Hualong Yuan had an average transaction price of about 41,200 RMB per square meter in April this year, down from a peak of 119,600 RMB per square meter in 2021, a drop of 65.6%. A person from a Shenzhen real estate agency noted that the overall decline in school district house prices is a general trend, but Bagualing Dormitory's steep drop is closely related to its poor living conditions. Shenzhen house prices need some time to stabilize, and it's hard to say that old, small school district houses have hit bottom yet. Guangzhou school district houses are also affected. Recently, the Guangzhou Property Exchange listed 22 school district houses of Dongfeng East Road Primary School, covering Dongfeng Plaza and Jingcheng Garden. In these listings, a house in Jingcheng Garden had a minimum asking price of about 70,000 RMB per square meter, while the same size second-hand house sold for 90,000 RMB per square meter last October. Guangzhou Light Industry State-Owned Asset Management Company Limited listed Dongfeng Plaza houses with a minimum asking price of 72,000 RMB per square meter, down from 26.8% from 98,400 RMB per square meter in May last year. Transaction records on the Lianjia platform show that a second-hand house in Dongfeng Plaza, built in 1998 and about 70 square meters, was sold for 80,000 RMB per square meter in April this year, compared to 97,800 RMB per square meter in the same period last year. A similar unit, built in 2004, was sold for 7.7 million RMB at 111,300 RMB per square meter last March, but for 6.3 million RMB at 89,900 RMB per square meter this April, a total drop of 1.4 million RMB. According to a Hobson Research Institute report, the number of second-hand residential transactions in Guangzhou fell further in May to 7,838 units, the lowest in over a year. As the peak demand for education wanes, the number of second-hand transactions in Yuexiu District has declined for 2 consecutive months. Dongfeng Plaza and Jingcheng Garden are located in Yuexiu District, home to many of Guangzhou's prestigious schools. Dongfeng Plaza was built in multiple phases, with buildings dating from 1990 to 2015. Even in the Tianhe District's strongest school district, Chaolin Garden, prices continue to fall. A 112.6 square meter unit had an average transaction price of 67,900 RMB per square meter at the end of March this year, down 26,100 RMB per square meter from the same period last year. This house was sold urgently at a reduced price, with a transaction cycle of only 14 days. On May 11th, the largest transaction in this community was 77,000 RMB per square meter, a drop of 32,700 RMB per square meter from the same type of unit last year. A real estate agency representative noted that the overall decline in Guangzhou's second-hand housing market also affects school district houses. Several factors contribute to the significant drop and difficulty in selling school district houses. Historically, these properties were considered stable investments. However, with China's economic downturn and a sluggish real estate market, investors have become less enthusiastic about high-risk assets. They now focus more on capital returns and risk control, leading to adjusted expectations for high-priced school district houses, which in turn affects market activity and price levels. Additionally, the current downturn in China's real estate sector has weakened the willingness of residents to buy homes, especially expensive school district houses. This decreased demand makes it difficult for these properties to maintain high prices or causes them to drop rapidly. Moreover, there may have been an overdevelopment of school district houses in recent years, resulting in an oversupply on the market. This excess supply contributes to price drops and sales difficulties. The overall confidence and expectations in the real estate market also plays a crucial role. The cautious and pessimistic sentiment among market participants leads to decreased transaction activity, making it harder for school district houses to retain their value. Therefore, the significant price drop and difficulty in selling school district houses result from a combination of factors, including supply and demand dynamics, investor expectations, and overall market confidence. Simultaneously, the transaction volume and prices for second-hand houses in Shenzhen continue to decline. According to data from Le Youjia Research Center, from June 10th to June 16th, the transaction volume of second-hand housing at Le Youjia stores in Shenzhen fell by 13.4% compared to the previous week, and the number of viewings for second-hand houses dropped by 10%. Youjia Research Center also reported that the current average listing price for second-hand houses in Shenzhen is 67,800 RMB per square meter, down 6% from January, and closer to the actual transaction price of 62,000 per square meter in May. An article from mainland media on June 9th noted that the number of second-hand houses for sale in Nanshan District, Shenzhen, reached 7,919 units in June, almost breaking the 8,000 mark. With so many second-hand houses listed, it naturally becomes challenging to sell them. The article stated that homeowners in Shenzhen dream of returning to the price levels of 2021. In 2021, house prices in Nanshan District reached 120,000 RMB per square meter, while even in Bao'an District, prices were at 82,000 RMB, and in Longhua District, they were 77,000 RMB. At that time, prices in Nanshan District were higher than those in Beijing's Xicheng District and Shanghai's Huangpu District. However, since May 2021, Shenzhen's house prices have started to decline. On June 15th, data from the National Bureau of Statistics of China showed that the number of cities with rising prices for second-hand housing decreased to 15 cities compared to the previous month, while the number of cities with declining prices increased from 21 to 55. The decline in second-hand housing prices is evident. Sales prices in first-tier cities have shifted from a 0.2% month-on-month increase in April to a 0.4% decline, marking a 0.6% drop. Specifically, prices fell by 0.6% in Beijing, 0.8% in Shanghai, 0.2% in Guangzhou, and 0.1% in Shenzhen. In second and third-tier cities, second-hand house prices have turned from stable to declining by 0.3% and 0.2% respectively. Chinese media Caixin reported that data from the second-hand residential market more accurately reflects the real market situation, as new commodity housing often suffers from data lags and price restrictions. NBD.com.cn reported that the number of listings for second-hand houses is increasing in many first- and second-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, with the growth rate of transaction volume lagging behind the increase in listings. As the number of listings grows, the transaction prices have also changed. Chief researcher at the Guangdong Provincial Housing Policy Research Center, Li Yujia, noted that more homeowners choose to list their properties after the market picked up in the first quarter, seeking to upgrade or cash out. The number of luxury home listings has risen significantly. Given the increased options, many homeowners have repeatedly lowered their listing prices to sell quickly, resulting in larger price declines in Beijing and Shanghai. Senior analyst at Zhuge Data Research Center, Chen Xiao, pointed out that the overall price of second-hand residential properties in 70 cities fell by 0.23% month-on-month, ending 3 months of positive growth. Prices in all cities declined, with first-tier cities, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, all experiencing declines. The pressure on the second-hand housing market is increasing due to insufficient purchasing confidence and low expectations for the future market. To stimulate the Chinese housing market, the authorities introduced measures on May 17th, aiming to clear the large housing inventory and boost housing demand. These measures include investing 300 billion RMB to clear inventory, reducing mortgage down payments, and removing the lower limits on interest rates for first and second homes. Following this, local governments across the country rolled out complementary policies, such as lowering down payment ratios and mortgage rates and relaxing purchase restrictions in cities like Shanghai and Guangzhou. However, Caixin pointed out that despite these measures, results have yet to be seen. On May 31st, CRIC released data showing that the sales revenue of China's top 100 real estate companies in May reached 322.4 billion RMB, down 33.6% year-on-year, maintaining a historically low level. From January to May, the sales revenue of these top 100 companies totaled 1.4 trillion RMB, a year-on-year decrease of 44%. In addition to declining sales performance, Chinese real estate companies face significant debt repayment pressures. According to China Index Academy, real estate companies have 770.3 billion RMB in bonds maturing in 2024. An assistant researcher at the First Research Institute of the Tsinghua Institution for Economic Research in Taiwan, Wang Guocheng, told Radio Free Asia that the Chinese real estate market is struggling with no buyers. Firstly, people lack the money to buy houses, making rate cuts meaningless. Secondly, those with money are hesitant to buy new homes due to concerns about developers going bankrupt and potential unfinished projects. Thirdly, the expectation of falling house prices makes potential buyers adopt a wait-and-see attitude. These three factors create a perfect storm that prevents any significant improvement. According to the paper, recent data from the National Financial Supervision and Administration Commission showed that 1,257 banking branches exited the market in the first 5 months of this year, a year-on-year increase of 30.4%. More than 60% of these were branches of rural commercial banks and rural credit cooperatives, with state-owned banks accounting for 18%. Wang Guocheng pointed out that a large portion of Chinese bank investments is tied to real estate, leading to significant losses. Recently, the People's Bank of China and Financial Supervision Commission have been pushing for the consolidation of small and medium-sized banks and the closure of branches. According to the Wall Street Journal, Chief China economist Yao Wei said in a client report on Monday that China's prolonged real estate boom ended in 2021. Since then, the real estate sector has struggled with oversupply and weak buyer sentiment. Despite the government's strong stimulus measures in mid-May to restore market confidence, the market still hasn't found a bottom. Renowned economist Xiang Songzuo, president of the Greater Bay Area Finance Research Institute in Shenzhen, stated that housing prices will continue to decline in the short term. He emphasized that those who bought houses to make money in the past can no longer do so and may even see their asset values drop to zero. He stressed that this is not an exaggeration, as many people are already heavily in debt. If you bought your house with a mortgage, your asset value might even become negative, leading to a significant financial strain.